everybody. This is Alan Robot Vanwert. People have been asking me what I'm using for my guitar stuff, for live playing, recording, stuff like that, for a long time. And I felt bad I never really gave a good answer. In fact, I didn't even know what this pickup was for a long, long time, for years. I got it many years ago when we built this guitar, me and my dad, way back in the day. But I found out from Seymour Duncan, I was talking to him about it, and this is a full shred pickup in my bridge, just so everybody finally knows what I'm using there. This one's a Fender Lace sensor, and this one's some kind of Les Paul. I still don't know. It's my special magic secret pickup at this point. Anyway, on my guitar, tone knob for the middle pickup, tone knob for the other two pickups, volume knob. This is like a, what do you call it? Coil tap or whatever, something like that. And this one does nothing. So anyway, FC200 Roland foot controller is what I use to control my rig. I used to have this massive arc on stage of all assortment of pedals and controllers for everything. MIDI system at the same time as a talk box, at the same time as my foot switches for the amp, same time as my foot switches for my processor, wah pedal, something else. It was insanity. It was really too much going on. To sing harmonies, play the guitar, do some shredding, and act cool on stage, it's too much involved. So I figured out a way to remove all the nonsense. I had this for years actually. This is what I used to use with my other stuff, but now I'm just using the Roland FC200 MIDI controller. It's a really awesome unit. It controls everything in my rack all at the same time. I press one foot switch, magic. It changes my amp channel, it changes my racks, and my racks control whether or not they're going to use this Behringer gate. And how do I do that? How do you use MIDI to control my awesome Mesa Boogie Triple Rectifier? By the way, for years I used model amp sounds a long time ago. I started doing that, and people knew it because they weren't that great back then, I guess. But I've been using clean tone from digital instead of using amp tone for a really long time for clean. But on this amp, I actually like the clean tone, and I like blending it with my digital clean too, and then applying some delay chorus at times, things like that. My middle channel I have set to modern mode, not vintage. That's my lead channel. Sometimes I have it set to vintage. I don't have my gain slamming on these, by the way. Most people slam their gain and it makes it sound like ass because you're not getting any of the punchiness or air behind it. So you want it to breathe a little bit. You can't just saturate the hell. You get no dynamics. You want to be able to turn down and control it here a little bit too. And then on this channel, the third channel I use for my rhythm channel, usually like a metal type of rhythm tone, and I have that on modern as well. My settings are extremely subtle. There's no craziness except for my presence on my lead channels cranked all the way up. I forget why or how that affected it, but I liked doing that for whatever reason. Probably something weird. Anyway, I first run into the top Roland GP100 processor. I've had it for a very long time. We recently got the other one a couple of years ago, I think. It wasn't too long ago, as a backup, but I actually decided to use them both at the same time so I could do insane stuff. Not that you need that, but it's fun to play with. So the first one, I go into that, and that's obviously my tuner. I get the tuner, but I can tune on stage or whatever really quick. It's a really accurate tuner in these Rolands, by the way. And everybody likes their floor model, the Boss tuner. Same, I believe it's the same thing. So I go into that, and then from this, sometimes, depending on what I program it to do, it'll go to my noise gate once or twice, depending on before, after, in between different things. Depends on how I want it to do all that, and I just tell it yes or no to do that. Real easy. If it does, if it doesn't matter. It goes from the noise gate one way or the other back into the processor, and then the processor goes to the front of the amp. Alright, so what happens is I hit my processor. I'm either using it for a chorus, extra gain, boost, compression even, sometimes I think I do, EQ, wah pedal, things like that, and then, or nothing, a lot of times it's just nothing, and then I go into the amp itself, and then the amp gives me my guitar tone. The actual Mesa Boogie cool rhythm and lead tone that I love. Goes into this thing. And by the way, people that have trouble with these, they don't know how to use an amp because they're like cranking knobs crazy. I couldn't imagine, like, I know you could get a bad sound out of it, it's not that hard to do, but I think people are like being kind of screwy and they're just like, oh, I don't want mids, I I don't want to be heard on stage. I just want to have bass frequencies. It's like they want to be at a low frequency effect channel in a movie or something. I don't know what they're thinking. You don't need a lot of bass on these, honestly. You know, it pulls through a lot of bass on its own. You really don't need to crank it. And you want mids, or else you're not going to have guitar tone. The mids are the guitar. Anyway, not giving a lesson on that. I've gone through that many times. People, some of them get it, some of them eventually get it, some of them never do. So, you want nice tone. Actually, I'll give you a quick lesson. A good way to get good tone, make it sound great, clean, and then do the same thing but with distortion. Then you turn up your gain. And you usually get a good tone. The other thing is, don't start with your gain. What channel am I on here? Here, I'll go to channel 2. Don't start with your gain. Try to tweak it. Turn it down. You can start there. Get your tone. Right? Turn it up gradually until you hear the magic happen. Right there. You can feel it. The bass starts to become a little bit tight. Or boomy even. Rather. It's tight on this. Feel more bass presence in it. It's not just volume either. It's affecting the sound. And you go up. Now you want to do. You want to be able to play quiet and not have it make it sound loud. It's tough to hear, but right about there. Sometimes I have it about 3 o'clock, I think is where I had it before. Alright, anyway, so my settings, again, very subtle. They're all about at noon on the rhythm channel. Everything, except for my master volume. And my gain's at 3 o'clock. Treble's just above noon. Bass is the same as the treble. Mids... Mids are actually higher. Here, I'll lower the mids. I'll raise them back up to where they were. Now let me slam the mids. A lot of people like that woody sound. I like it not that much. You can reduce it all the way. Hey, no more guitar sound. It's gone. The tone just vanished. It sucked. So you don't want to do that. Anyway, so that's my rhythm tone. How does it all work? Okay, this Amp Gizmo is friggin' awesome. What I did was, I was thinking, oh man, I need to get a new amp. I can't MIDI control this. The new ones can, and I can't. I got upset. And then I found this online, the Amp Gizmo, and I didn't have faith in it at first. I was like, oh, this thing is not going to do what I want at all. It's not going to magically know how to control all my stuff. And then I thought about it, I'm like, well, it's just MIDI, maybe it will. So I set it up, I have it physically mounted in here so it doesn't move around when I'm moving stuff. Oh, by the way, this case is a Mesa Boogie I got from somebody, a Sus4 case. It's got the springs in it and all that. It's nice, it's really solid. You could probably throw it off of a large object up high and it'd be probably fine. I don't even know. I wouldn't want to do that. But this Amp Gizmo thing, it is controlled, as you can see, everything from my foot switch. So my foot switch goes in the Amp Gizmo first. This tells the amp which channel to use. It tells the amp if we want effects loop on or off, and if we want the solo volume boost on or off. And that's all you need, because it's controlling every aspect of the amp. And then at the same time, after the Amp Gizmo, it goes in the MIDI in, and then the MIDI out or through from the Amp Gizmo goes to my racks. And then they have a through to each other as well. So all my stuff is controlled instantly with one foot pedal press. So here's my clean channel with my just the amp. Alright, here's with my effects and some of my digital clean blended into the Triple Rectifier's clean. It's got a nice tone. Anyway, so that's a clean channel. My rhythm channel with nothing touching it beforehand, no effects before or after. Push the mids up on. Oh, I'm sorry, that's what I already had. So actually shows you that already. Here's with processing before the same channel on the amp, the third channel for rhythm. The reason I do this is because sometimes I play heavier stuff and I want a noise gate, so I use the noise gate external from my Roland stuff. I'm using the Behringer one in this because, like I said earlier, I like the speed it offers me compared to the other one. It seems like it's cut my transient, but that one doesn't. So I also boosted 2 kilohertz before it hits the amp. So here's the difference. And here's the other one. You can hear that there's more presence to it in that 2K range. It makes my guitar have a different sound, a different tone before it hits the amp. So it's essentially like using a different guitar almost. And then I think I cut a little bit of the low end off, the sub frequencies. So when I'm playing the it stays tight on low stuff and clear. My lead channel. The lead channel is going to the effects unit. Without the effects, sounds like. With the effects. Robot tone. By the way, robot tone without my guitar affecting it. Here's just a bridge pickup. The way I like it. Alright, so that's my robot tone, which I do live, and people flip out. What the hell is that sound? Anyway, so that's that tone. Here's a bad tone. Oh, sorry, that one. Anyway, I can program this controller to do anything. I have an expression pedal on it and a toggle switch, or it's a switch you can hold down if you wanted to. But the expression pedal, I could program 32 different effects to be controlled in lots of different ways by it. So if I have it turn up, or when you put your foot like this, it's not just a wah pedal. I can also have it turn up the amount of flange or the type of flange, how fast the flange, or chorus, whatever effect you want to program that to control, you can control. The amount of reverb, the amount of delay, I could tap delays. There's an automatic ducking delay, or you, like I said, you can control the delay amount. I could tell it to have a harmony turn on or off. I could tell it how much volume for distortion, or how much clean. I could blend distortion and clean seamlessly. I could do anything. Honestly, you could do just about anything by programming this stuff in. Some people get scared or confused. If you spend the time reading the manual, which everybody says Roland manuals suck, I don't think they do. I thought it was logical and made sense. But go through that, you'll be able to understand if you have one of these. They're cheap now. I think they're like $100 to $400 or something on eBay. I've seen a couple of them. They don't make them anymore. Unfortunately, they have newer systems out. People are using, but I think it sounds kind of awesome for what it does. It's very powerful. So that is my live rig that I use. By the way, if you like my guitar tone for the mic stuff, I'm just using an SM57. That's no magic tricks here. I do have a condenser mic to pick up my voice up here, so that might get the room, but I'm probably going to edit out the room sound, at least now and then, so you can hear the direct signal coming out of the speakers and all that stuff without all the wizardry. So I hope that settles any questions people have. If you have more questions, that's cool. Just type them in. Please subscribe to the channel. I put in a lot of time doing lots and lots of videos, free lessons, all that sort of thing, when I'm supposed to be doing a lot of other music stuff right now. But I figured I've been on YouTube a long time and people are cool there, so I'm still being nice. Anyway, have a good one. Again, ask questions, subscribe, add me on Facebook. I'm supposed to be on Reddit or something. I gotta figure out how to do that. And I'll talk to everybody soon.